Yo, what's up, fam? Welcome back to All Things Dope. And today, I want to take a little bit of time to explain one of the things that I use actually quite a bit. I bought a few different pairs of shoes off of this website. It's a website called StockX. You may have heard about it, you may know about it, but if you don't, let me give you a breakdown. So StockX is a buying and selling place for shoes. I actually got these bad boys for my birthday. I've been wanting this pair of shoes, and I'll do the unboxing a little bit later. But I've been wanting this pair of shoes for quite a while, since it came out. And this is a shoe that's not super hype, but it's not a shoe that you'll see on a lot of people. But that's kind of my thing personally. I don't just buy shoes because they're hyped up or anything like that. That's never ever been me. Yes, I do have some hype shoes. I've got the Off-Whites over there. But really and truly, I'm not buying sneakers because I feel like a completionist or anything like that. I'm buying sneakers that I genuinely love. So that's why you'll see me in a pair of up-tempos, or you'll see me in a pair of the Nike Speed Touch. Those are shoes that I genuinely like. You know, I like the 5s, I like the 4s, I like the 3s. Those are all shoes that I 100% like. I just like the design of the shoe. I like the way that it looks on shorts with jeans. I like these shoes. So that's why I buy them. So not every shoe that I buy is a hyped up shoe. And if you're lucky, like myself personally, you can get shoes that you like without them being super hyped up. This pair of shoes right here, again, I'll unbox them later. But I'll tell you what they are. They're the Nike Fear of God moccasins. I think that shoe is incredibly dope. I think it's a just overall beautiful piece of art to wear. And it's aesthetically pleasing to me. I like it. I think that it looks good. So we'll check that out in a bit. But let me show you guys how to win on StockX. So of course here it goes. So this is a 360 view of the shoe. Very dope shoe. Has a lot of Marty McFly vibes. But the shoe when it came out was $170, right? And if we look at the size 13, the last sell was for $112. Well, your boy, I actually caught mine. Dang, somebody got these mugs for $90. Jesus. This was me. I got mine for $100. And I'm kind of mad that somebody else got them for $90. Good God. But and the reason that this is hit this way is if we look at one point in time, and this is right after they came out, the hype was there. Look, this is the hype train right here. This hype train comes all the way down. Somebody's copped these mugs for $85 at one point in time. That is ridiculous. But this is a great tool, man. StockX is a great tool to show you guys how to cop sneakers. Because here it is, man. Here's the hype train. They, of course, anytime that a shoe gets resold, they always want double, right? So if it's a $150 shoe, want $300. This, in this case, was $170. They sold for $300, and people bought them. Unfortunately, people bought them at that time for that price. And I say unfortunately because I don't really like reselling. I feel like, especially with your friends don't let friends buy resale prices. You always get them the best deal as possible. But just and I get it, it's part of the culture, that's what it is. But for me personally, even this amount here, maybe $200, maybe I'd be okay with that. If there was still a lot of hype around them, but I knew all the hype had died already. And that's what I'm talking about, the patience part, right? This is the patience that you need, because you could have picked these mugs up for $85. Granted, there's always going to be something as far as like the shipping, so you're going to have to pay for that. And if you don't pay for shipping, then they have the what they call the authentication process. So they want to make sure that they're real, the sneaker codes match up, the style codes, everything matches up with the way they need to be, and they want to make sure that the shoe itself is not fake. So you pay like $13 for that, but that's a price I'll pay. Just keep that in mind whenever you do decide that, yo, this is something that you want to buy for sure. This is absolutely something that I would recommend anybody do. This is StockX, man, and like I said, you can view all the sales. This is a really cool feature. If it's me personally too, just looking at other shoes, man, you can pull up anything just right off the bat. I'm curious to know what these are going for right now. Of course, I did a video on these. Came out, they were $200, and right about now they're about $250. So that means that this wasn't very hyped. And this is a general release. So of course it's not going to be as hyped as it was. But you could see as soon as they came out, when people wanted them, right away, $520. That's crazy. But look how much the hype has dropped. It's ridiculous. And it's all about following the sneaker trend, man. Following that hype trend, seeing what's what. Because at some point in time, you are going to find some off-whites, right? Or let's even go to the Travis Scott joints. This has been the one that most people have wanted, myself included. But really, mine was more of I'm a huge Travis Scott fan, so I really wanted to see what that was like. But let's see what they cost when they came out. I want to say they were $200. No, $175. They came out in May, so a few months back. These are right now. If I wanted to buy them straight outright without having a bid, $839 is what I'd pay. But most people bid, and $834 is what they're going for. But as you could see, the hype train was rolling through, and good God Almighty, somebody at one point in time was dropping $3,000. You could see this right around the end of that tax time that people were paying that crazy amount. But this is an early this was the shock drop that they had, and people were paying crazy amounts of money. And then of course when the actual shoe did release, it dropped down pretty good, but it's still pretty high, man, because it's a limited run sneakers. This is not a general release, so this is something to keep in mind when you're working with StockX. You're working on your shoe buying habits. If it's a general release, more than likely you'll get good prices. If it's an exclusive like this, just be ready, be prepared to pony up for this stuff, man, because it's not cheap, bro. It's not cheap at all. It's not a cheap game. It's a game of patience for sure. If you're gonna want some things, and some things are worth it, man. Some things you should pay, the $850 for it if you really wanted it. But for me personally, I have to cut myself off. At one point in time, I was paying like $400 or $500 for shoes. Not anymore. Unless it's like a super dope shoe that I'd absolutely have to have. I think my cutoff range is going to be like $300 to $400 at this point. So I brought it down. That's a little bit more manageable. But even then, it's been a while since I paid for a shoe like that. Because the thing about buying sneakers is that there's always the next one, right? Like if I missed out on this, that's okay. I'm going to get the next one because there are always going to be shoes that I want. There will always be shoes that we'll throw in the rotation. Good God. And so there will always be things that I think are cool. But you can always get stuff even under retail, man. Like I was talking about like Ultra Boost. Of course, they've lost a lot of hype here recently with everything that's been happening with them because they've saturated their market. They flooded the market. This is one of my favorite shoes of all time. Can't go wrong with it. $180, but I could probably pick them up right now. Somebody just purchased them for $139. I bet if I threw out a bid for $120, somebody would let it go because it's just how the game works. But all of that, guys, just to say that you can win on StockX in 2019. It is something that I would recommend to anybody to use. StockX is, I would say I like StockX better than even the Go app. The Go app, I used the Go app first, and it's cool. But once StockX came through, man, and gave me the availability to actually bid for shoes, that's when, for me, it makes the most sense. Because, yes, you have the power to automatically buy the shoe if you want to. This way you know it's there, it's done, you got it, you secured the bag. But for me, personally, if a shoe is selling for $150, I'll throw it out there. Hey, I have $100 on it right now. This way you don't have to, as a seller, sit on that inventory. And it's enticing, right? So it makes sense for them to get rid of it, especially if the shoe's already been out for a few weeks, because this tends to happen with the hype, right? It's either going to go down if it was not as successful of a release for that particular shoe, but I still like it, the hype is going to go back down. And that's when it becomes affordable, right? As a dad that's balling on a budget, I have to make sure that I take care of my priorities. But at the same time, I like to splurge on myself every once in a while, This is what we do. That's what we all do. But those are my keys to winning at StockX. Be patient, watch the trends, and keep up with the news, man. Because especially if it's a shoe that you know for sure that you want, be on the lookout for it. Because a lot of times, a lot of hyped up shoes, they'll get, shock drops, they'll get re-releases. It's just something that you have to be mindful of, right? You have to be a part of the community, and this is a great way for you guys to dive in. StockX, I would recommend it. This video is not sponsored by them on any level. I'm not getting paid to tell you to use StockX. It's just something that I myself use on a regular basis. That's it. I check it all the time, all my breaks. I look just to see what's out there, man, because every once in a while you'll find something and you'll be like, dang, these mugs are going for how much? My name is Chris Vargas. If you guys are feeling this kind of content, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And if you really like it, all the content that I've been putting out lately, make sure to follow me on Instagram, man, at the Chris Vargas. I would appreciate you guys. Shout me out. Tell me what you think of the videos. Tag me. I want to see what you guys are rocking, man. I want to see what you guys are wearing. I love streetwear and street style. Of course, this is my brand, Season 3. So, season3.com if you want the shirt. Outside of that, my name is Chris Vargas. I'm outie. Peace.